This will be pitch number 7. The count is still 1-2. Gaddis deals. Soto, a high fly ball to center. Thomas backing up. Thomas at the track. And Juan Soto! A 3-run home run!
Juan Soto, I will never forgive you. Kenny C back here on the ones and twos. This is the Kenny C Show. For those that do not know and do not subscribe, please do so because this content is coming every single week. Those that do subscribe know that I keep it real on this show. Juan Soto, you are a gluttonous traitor. You are ravenous. And you will never be loved by a New York Yankee fan again because we loved you this past season. We loved you. We gave you our heart and soul. Every single game that I went to last year, and I went to a bunch of games, I was yelling your name. I was cheering from you from the bleachers. You gave the fans love. You're throwing balls into the crowd. You got Que lo que Soto. The Dominicans loved you, yelling from the bleachers. And this is how you repay us? You go to the little brother in the other borough, the other pinstripes, the New York Mets. Get Soto last night in the largest deal in history, in the history of sports. Now the highest paid athlete in the history of sports. $51 million a year this guy's going to make. 15 years, $765 million. The Yankees offer was 16 years, $760 million, 47.5 annually. So for a $4 to $5 million difference, Soto with his disgusting Scott Boras agent. And I say that in good fun because I know Boras is an outstanding agent and great at what he does. But I hate the guy because he does things like this. He gets the most amount of money for his clientele. And that's what he did here. Soto went with the money. He followed the money. We'll get into the parameters of the lineups and whatnot. But I just have to say, I am deeply disheartened and disgusted that Soto would betray us like this and go to the New York Mets. On the bright side, Yankee fans, now instead of paying $40 for a chicken bucket, we can pay the normal $20 for 2 to 3 tenders. I guess you take the minutely good with the bad. This is definitely not good. A generational hitter now goes to the Mets. You passed up, Juan Soto, on the opportunity to play the rest of your career with one of the other greatest hitters of our generation in Aaron Judge. Congratulations. You now will not be hitting in front of a generational hitter in Aaron Judge. Soto has a 5th-year opt-out in this deal. But if the Mets don't want to part ways with him, they can retain him by giving him what? More money, $4 million. $55 million would go up to bring that deal up to an $800 million contract. We all knew that Steve Cohen had the wherewithal to do this. The guy's a hedge fund owner. He has his own personal business outside of owning a franchise, contrary to Hal Steinbrenner. Now, Hal definitely went the mile and tried to give the most money, but was outbid by a guy with the deepest pockets in probably all of baseball. Steve Cohen was going to go out there and bring Soto home no matter what. This sucks. Where do the Yankees turn from here? Where do they go from here? Let's look at the 2 lineups. Now with Soto in the lineup at the Mets, you got Lindor, you got Soto, Vientos, Nimmo, Marte, McNeil, Tyrone Taylor, Francisco Alvarez, and Brett Beatty. With the Yankee side of things, with Torres and Rizzo gone, Verdugo gone, you're looking at Volpe, Jazz, Judge, Wells, Stanton, Dominguez, DJ, Grisham, and Oswaldo Cabrera. So on paper, the Mets definitely have the much deeper lineup. The Mets definitely made a run last year losing to the Dodgers in the NLCS. Soto looked at that. Soto said, I have an opportunity here to play with what I look at on paper as a better lineup. I'm getting paid more money. He chose the Mets. The Yankees, they're going to make moves. That's just the... Right now, this video could get dated an hour after it posts today because the Yankees make a big splash and sign somebody. These are the guys that the Yankees could go after. You got Sean Manaea and Jose Quintana, who the Mets didn't go after. You look at the Mets rotation. Now with Kodai Senga, Clay Holmes, who they stole from the Yanks, Frankie Montas, 2 years, $34 million for a guy with a 4.85 ERA over the span of 3 teams from this past year. He made 8 starts with the Yankees. He's injury prone. That's an overpay in my opinion. Then you got David Peterson, Phil Blackmon, and Tyler McGill. in that Mets rotation. Contrary to the Yankees rotation, which has Garrett Cole, Luis Gil, Carlos Rodon, Nestor Cortez, and Clark Schmidt. The Yankees, in my opinion, now with that $760 million that you're saving, Hal Steinbrenner needs to be all in because this team is still in a position, they're in a win-now position where you just went to the World Series. You have to make another run. This is let's go all in. You were going to go all in on Soto, so that leads me to believe that Hal will go in. Him and Cashman will go all in on reconstructing this lineup, if you will, or adding to this lineup, I should say, and the rotation. You go out and you get a Corbin Burns or a Max Fried. They're going to cost you anywhere from $175 to $200 million, most likely. You got to break the bank for one of those two guys. Because, to be honest with you, another Boris client, Carlos Rodon has not looked good in pinstripes the last 2 seasons. For $160 million, he has not been it, in my opinion. You go out, maybe you get a Tanner Scott sort of guy. Like I alluded to a couple minutes ago. Maybe even a Quintana or a Minaya. They both pitched very well for the Mets, especially down the stretch last year. We got to add to the pitching, undoubtedly. Then you got second baseman Ketel Marte is out there. You got first baseman Christian Walker and Cody Bellinger, who can also play left field, which is a position of need that you need to fill. Now you got Judge back and right. You put Dominguez in center. You got to get a left fielder. Maybe use Spencer Jones to trade for Cody Bellinger, because Cody Bellinger is 29 years old. Christian Walker is 33 years old. Walker has the better stats since 2021, a 249 average as opposed to a 243. He's got 105 home runs to 73 home runs. He's got a 770 OPS or 790 OPS compared to a 724 OPS. So Walker has the better stats, but he's 4 years older than Cody Bellinger. I would honestly be content with either one because, again, we're in a win-now mode. We're trying to go all in here. You go out and you get a first baseman. Maybe it's P. Alonso or maybe it is Walker and Bellinger. So they can fit. Bellinger fits two needs. Maybe you go out and you get Walker or Alonso because the Mets, they have Mark Vientos. They're probably not going to bring back Alonso. I would not mind getting him. Alex Bregman just turned 30 as opposed to Anthony Santander, who is a ripe 30. He hit 44 home runs, but is he going to replicate that? I'm not sure. He's one of the best switch hitters in baseball, as he proved last year. I might lean on the side of Alex Bregman. So that's where you kind of stand with the free agency pool that you have to work with. The Yankees are going to spend money. They're going to go out there and they're going to get players to add to this lineup, and they need to add to the rotation because I am not the most comfortable with what we had going into the postseason of the World Series last year, contrary to what a lot of people said. The Yankees have a top-tier rotation out of the teams that are remaining in this postseason. It looked pretty shaky throughout the playoffs. So I'm looking for Hal and for Cashman to go all in on this. Soto, I will never forgive you. This was such a disheartening thing to see and now have to deal with. And it's going to be fun, the Subway Series. And I'm calling it now. I'm calling a Subway Series World Series between the Yankees and the Mets. We were this close to getting it last year. I do think we are going to get that this year. I think that the Mets can beat the Dodgers. I think we'll see a Subway Series World Series. And I'm definitely looking forward to the regular season Subway Series against the Mets. And I'm looking forward to trying to strike out Juan Soto. I love the guy, but not anymore. Mets fans, Yankee fans, baseball fans alike, what do you guys think about all of this? Drop your comments in the comment section below.